nose got so itchy as I was trying to get on. How's everyone doing? It's been a long weekend. Actually, no, it's been a short weekend, but it's been a long morning this morning already because I've been up quite early. But after the jelly, after my live at the jelly roll day, I did put together 2 blocks. I don't know how they're going to come together because we're going to design it. So I have these and these. I had not finished anymore because I had to spend time. I have to juggle, right? Working my full-time job with working my YouTube job with family. And so I did this in the morning, and then I met up with a subscriber, and her husband plays in a band, and so we had a salsa day in the afternoon. I was going to go live, and then you know what? I just wanted to immerse myself in, the whole experience, and I just didn't do it. It was just all about friendship and spending time with my honey. And so, yes, so that's what I did on Saturday after sewing these up. And we talked about my honey sewing up a jelly roll. Hello, Melanie. And that didn't happen either. I don't even know what we did. When we got home, we just enjoyed each other's company. What else did we do on Sunday, which was yesterday? I watched a couple of lives, and I worked on some long arming and spent time with honey as well. Good morning, Annette. So I've had like a very restful weekend. What else happened? Not much. Today is the second installment of the Ginger Quilter Mega Box Quilt Along. And so you're supposed to have your strips all cut up. And so I went ahead and I cut up my strips, but I started sewing them this morning a little bit because I figured we can do this quilt together this morning and see what we have. And then I'll show you some of my finishes as far as quilting, long arming. I'm trying to, get ahead of this giant pile I have. So here we are. I'm going to put up my first block. I am just going to put them up, and we can move, blocks around, of course. Now this block, if you notice, the jelly roll is doing like the windmill thing. So in this block, the windmill is with the skinny one. So I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm just gonna throw this up here and see what we have. I don't even know how many blocks I have. I really just sew them up and put them aside. Can you see? Maybe I need to put it that way. Well, let me scooch it over. There we are. Oh, you know what we made? That's right, because I had my son here for the weekend, and I made some wonderful pancakes. They were, not pancakes, waffles. We had waffles, not pancakes. I don't even know why I said pancakes. Oh, see, those two are going to bother me. So let's see. Maybe I could twirl it around. Nope. 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 We're not going to use that one. Let's go with another one. That's doing the same thing. Huh. Let's see. Oh, I think I found something. All right. I think I found something. Let's see. And now we need a one like this. And I may move this around too. This is not staying maybe the way it is. Good morning, Debbie. Wow, you're up early this morning. You are up very early this morning. Let's see. We're going to go with that. So what are we thinking so far? Are we thinking it's like a good balance here? Let's see. We have now, I have to put a pinwheel one, right? Or this one right here. There we are. This comes together very quickly. So if you have scraps that you just want to use up, I would absolutely recommend a good way to use up 2.5 inch width of fabric and oops, and 1.5 inch strips of width of fabric. But you know, it doesn't have to also be width of fabric. I already told you we're cutting the blocks into 6.5 inch blocks. So even if you have 6.5 inch, that may be good too. 1, 2, 3, 4. I hope I don't run out of this. I might have to order another jelly roll if not. We'll see. Because I only have enough for one more row. Huh. Like I said, I just used up my Sew Sampler box. I didn't, again, I just made this up on the fly. All right, so we may just have to have some other kind of. Here we are, and then this one. Well, you know what? We just may just make it this size. Let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 by 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a square. And then I have one left over, one block. So I think my goal was to make this bigger, which I think I made it bigger. Let's see. What do we have here? Again, this does not have borders. I could theoretically take this 1, 2, 3, 4 out of here and make this longer and then put borders on it. And then it's more of a size to pass forward. So let's see. We could make this a little skinny. Maybe. Let's see. Put this down here. If you see anything weird or funny, let me know. Here, I'm going to move this so you can see if you see anything weird or funny. Okay, so here is that. And I've got to tell you, that is bothering me. So move that over here. And I do see, like, this does not rail fence with this, because, you know, they have this here, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Because it gives you a little different. So when I was first making this quilt, I was thinking we were going to rail fence things. And now that I'm seeing there's a secondary pattern, so this one here is a rail fence and this block is, but when you put them together, you actually get this like little cool little thing going on, which I kind of like, because when you see this, this looks like one big piece. So I kind of like that. It gave it a different look once I moved it from 4 blocks to 3. Huh. Not sure. I could like take these apart and add another row, because I'll have 1, 2. I actually can do that. I can take these apart here, right? And then add them over in here to make this a little bit longer. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I end up with. Let me go see what we got going on here. Wow, we have quite a bit on here. So, good morning, Rhonda. Good morning, Mirta. I got up at 3 a.m. Why? I have no idea. Well, join the club, me too, just Eastern Standard Time. Go with 3 in a row. That's what I'm going to do to give it a little more. Give it a border and call it done. That's what I think I'm going to do. I've got to get my kiddos up for school. Good morning, Melanie. Yes, totally get it. And such a cool pattern. Yeah, it's random. No rhyme, no reason. I just sewed strips. Well, there was. I had this sewn in. And this, I mean, it's a scrappy quilt. It's a traditional scrappy quilt. I'm gonna go and say that for sure. So I am going to take this apart just because, you know, see, Jack ripped this here just to add it, just to give me a little bit more, throw a border on it, and it's gonna make a great passive forward quilt. And it just went, I don't know, it just sewed beautifully. It just was really nice. So that's one thing I've been doing. Let's see, let's come on over here and let me show you some other things I've got going on. So in the process, I'm pinning. I have finished this. I've got it somewhat pinned up. Look at the back. The back is just pieces that came off of my long arm, and you'll understand the back in a second. I just kind of pieced all my leftover backing pieces for this because it's just a wall hanging. And I did the same with this. Look at the back. I did take I had a 1/2 yard cut of this fabric, so I did add that in. And then I just added pieces to it. Right? And that is the back of this. I used that glow in the dark thread that the Ginger Quilter sent me. So that was cool. And where I got those back pieces were from the full quilts. So yesterday when hubby was watching sports at some points in the day, when he was watching sports, that's when I vacate right up to my room and start long arming. So this is the back of this one. And here is the front. You know what? I should put that here because you haven't seen these quilts actually. So this quilt is a 3-yard quilt. I should get, you know what? I should have gotten the book out and told you what book this came from. So when I was making the sample for the quilt book, I think it was during Halloween last year. I think that's where it was, and I had decided to sew Halloween. That's how far in advance things get sewn. So this is from the book. Hold on, I'm going to grab it. I know which book it's from. It is from hold on. It's one of their newer books. Here's my pile of books. We're going to find it. So this was from Make It Easy. It is the affinity pattern right there, made right here in this fabric. So I just did meander and stars, and I use glow in the dark thread. That's the thread that Natalie sent. So I was happy with it. Oops. Give you a closer look. Look at that. Isn't that great? This is really cool. So this was a batik. So I had ordered something that had this 1 yard of this sent to me, and this was some kind of fabric that was, I don't know where it came from. It was passed forward to me, and this is a batik that was passed forward to me at one point. So that was cool from a friend. And that was the back. And so when I cut this off, you know, and I get it all ready to be binded, I take all those pieces from the side, and knowing that I had all those wall hangings that I needed backings for. I just pieced the back, what was left over. So like now I have absolutely no scraps, even from the backing. The next quilt, because I did two. Let me show you. Now this is a design of my own. So I had this, I was trying to figure out what to put on it, looked in my stash, and I think I showed you like this was my Halloween fabric. So I had 2 yards of this, and I didn't have quite enough, but I had a lot of this grunge that was passed forward to me from Gina. So I used some of that because look at it. It worked great with this flower right there. I don't know. It just really works great. And so now let me show you this. I don't have a pattern for this. I made this I made this last year. So I can explain to you and you could take notes. I guess I'm like the traditional college professor, right? I may not have a textbook on something, but I can give you a lecture and tell you, and you could take notes. And we could measure as we go, in case if someone wants to figure this out. So this was using all my leftover fabrics. I didn't have a lot of, I just had little pieces of leftover Halloween fabrics. So here it is. It's nothing complicated. I wanted to show off some of the pieces of fabric I did have. So this I bought many years ago in Texas. That's how long that fabric's been around. This was something, I think I got this in something from Lynn's, I want to say. But I'm not sure. I think I did. This I got in some quilt shop. It was just a piece because anytime I see scrappy bags in a shop in Massachusetts and in Dighton. This actually was, I made a wedding, someone wanted Day of the Dead wedding pillowcases. So that was a scrap from that. This here was a scrap from many years ago in Texas. This red also was a scrap from this store. That, you know, this was a bundle. This did come from Soft Squares. You know what it was? It was a giveaway I won. Now I remember. It was in a giveaway box that I won. And then those were the main prints. This was a Pass It Forward, a fabric that someone gave me, a friend locally. And all these were my little pieces of Halloween fabric throughout the years. And I just made, I don't know what you want to call it, wonky cabins, log cabins. I don't know. Look, they're not the same. They're just kind of made up. I just kind of slashed log cabined it. So if I was to measure these, I'm going to say, right, this is a 1/4 inch, that this was, well, that can't possibly be. Because, you know, the crazy thing is I just sew, you know, as I go. This literally was designed on this design wall. So I want to say this says, if I add the 3/4 inch, that this was 17 3/4, this piece. And my block that I kind of log cabined, let's see, was a 9 inch. So this was 9, no, it's 9, I know what I did. 9 inch and 18 inch. I remember that part, 9 inch and 18 inch. And this was 9.5. Right, no, this was 8.5. Let me see, let me double check. I should write these things down. You know how many patterns I would have if I actually sat here and wrote down what I was doing? I do know that that is a 9 and 18, but how thick was this? This was, according to this was 8.5 inches. 8.5 inches wide. So it was, the block is 8. The block was 8. This is 18 and this is 8.5 inches wide. That's what I did there. Sorry, I'm just rambling. But if you wanted to make this, and as you can see, I put a block and then my big piece, and a block, and I just went like that. And then I had this border strip. This was all came from a scrap bin of Halloween fabric I had last year. So I threw that in there, and then I did the same at the bottom. So that is what I did with this quilt. Wish I had a pattern. Kind of just told you, write notes if it is something you want to kind of mess with. You know, you can also, I've done this pattern using just a block of fabric without the crumbs. Just a single block. For a while there, I was making these and giving them away as passive forwards when I needed a quick last minute quilt. So yeah, so I did that one. And I'm just going to go ahead again. Over here. I'm just going to go ahead and just turn this over and do my binding that way, because that's the fastest way. And so as you can see in the backing of those wall hangings, I had this fabric. So I'm happy I used up all my, my background fabrics, my backing fabric cutoffs for my wall hangings. Hello, Andrea. How did you long arm do with the glow in the dark thread? So I had to change the needle. I started off and it kept breaking and it was driving me nuts. I normally don't have that issue. So use an 18. An 18, when it says whatever, what does it say? Let me look at, you have different needles than I do maybe, but. So Grace, I have 16 and 18 needles. I will say I started out with the 16 and I went with the 18 in the end. So definitely go with an 18 needle. This one here was not glow in the dark. This one I did not use glow in the dark because I only had one spool, and then she sent me another one, which was very sweet of hers, because my other one, I told her she didn't have to, but she sent me a second one. And so I really only had enough glow in the dark to do the one big one, and then the wall hanging, and then the little one I'm going to do. You have to go slow. With the first one, I did use the glow in the dark on the bottom and on top. The wall hanging, I just used the glow in the dark on the top. That was the most tricky, because the bottom was a cotton thread and the glow in the dark was a polyester. And I normally never do that, but I did it and it was a bit more tricky. So if you're long arming with a glow in the dark, my recommendation is definitely an 18-inch needle, and since it's a polyester, do the polyester on the bottom. I really have never long armed with polyester. So maybe this just goes with that. But that was my experience. Good morning, Aisha. Good morning, Chloe. Good morning, Joydy. I've forgotten, do you have automation? I have no automation. Oh, I'm so glad I asked. Drives me crazy when the thread keeps breaking. Yes, I'm glad you asked. So I have no automation. No, I've been saving for automation, and I spoke to Carla at the International Quilt Festival, and she took her time to really show me and to do it. And I realized that I have to put just as much work in doing an automated quilt as much as it is for me to do it, right? Because I have to program the whole computer, put my points in, and then when I do my pass, you have to be very precise to put your points in exactly again. And I'm not a technology person. Yes, I can do, PowerPoint and Excel and Microsoft, but I have not been able to figure out the automation. And when I go again, I'm going to try it again. I am going to try it again because I do love the idea of automation, right? Just because it does designs so lovely. I do basic this is my first year having a long arm as far as a traditional long arm. I used to have an Inspira frame with a Grand Foff quilter, and I used to, quilt. That was my, I guess, long arm, right? That was our first generation long arm. And I just did meander. And when I got this, I'm year later, I am getting better. Well, it's a little over a year. I'm getting used to it. This pattern, right? I had loops. Oh, here, I didn't even tell you what I had on here. So this is the one that is the glow in the dark. So this one, I just did stars. See that? I just had stars. It just is like, I don't know what to call it. It's kind of a big meander with stars. I guess it's a string of stars. We're going to call it the string of stars. This way, when it glows in the dark, it'll be like a string of stars just up in there. So that's how I did that one. This one has no glow in the dark. And this one, I have a variegated like this. This is the one that I used. This happens because a lot of people ask. This one happens to be YLI. So I like YLI. I like King Tut. And I like that connecting threads that Gina sent over. Well, I will tell you, this long arm, just fine. This is signature. But what I don't like about it, it is full of lint. It's lint everywhere. It's like linty madness. So I bought a whole bunch of this. And when I run out, I am not ordering any more of this because it is a linty madness. It may not be for you. I'm just saying for my machine, which is a Qnique 19XL Elite, this is a linty mess. And down in the bobbin is a linty mess. So I do not recommend that for that machine. Connecting threads, great, not a problem. But yeah, that's YLI. So this has no rhyme or reason. I have absolutely no idea what to call it. Look at this. Can you even see it? Probably not. Let's go with my finger. So I just went like this and went down and went over. And at some points I did boxes. And what my goal with long arming this was to give it an effect of looking like a big giant spider web. Let me see if the back. See, the back is in black, so you really can't even see the back of it. And when I showed it to Honey, I was like, does it give you an effect of a spider web? He goes, yes, it does. So I'm going to go with my own personal spider web meander. That's what I did, a spider web meander. Would it be cute with automation with real spider webs, like this? Absolutely. But, sometimes you can't have everything. I'm just happy that I was able to afford to buy this machine after years of saving. Me neither. I love purple and orange Halloween together. I do too. That's why, look at this, the box. I love this box. It has a lot of purple in it. I'm a purple orange too. So that's this. And that's it really. I mean, that's a lot for me. I think that's a lot that I did this weekend. I mean, I'm trying to take out quilts that I have made, right? And trying to. Last weekend I did the same thing, trying to take older quilts out and finish them up finally. Because I have a lot of them. I also, like everybody else, I need to make money. So I have a show coming up, and it's a juried gallery. And I have to, not that they're going to want Halloween, but you never know. They might want these. I just bring all my quilts, basically tubs and tubs of quilts. But I wanted to give them fresh new stuff. And I have tops. They just have to be long arm. And I'm just going to let them pick whatever they want to put up in their show. And then I also have, in October, I have the bank has a gallery in it. And they always feature a local artist. And every year they ask me to do it. And this year, like most years, I've done it in September. I've done it in, excuse me, November and December. This year, my month is October. Hence the Halloween. So I pulled out all my Halloween ones. So they will go up in the bank and get hung. So I will be probably doing more Halloween stuff so that I can have some stuff in a couple of weeks to hang there. And, you know, that's where I'm at right now. Excuse me, I just walked away. So again, if you're long arming using that, and it's Wonderfill, I think it's called Wonderfill, the glow in the dark thread she sent us. Definitely try to use an 18 needle. I'm just gonna put this away because if I don't, I won't know what I did with it later on. All right. So what have you guys been working on this weekend? What are your makes? You know, I'm going to move you down. Or did you just have a relaxing weekend? Because that's always good too. Relaxing weekends are really great. I'm just going to start pulling off this so that I have something to sew. I keep my sewing up. Good morning, Joyce. Good morning, Leanne and everyone. Been lurking though. I would jump on and say hi. Well, thank you. Joyce, I'm so happy that you found that paisley fabric. That was an awesome score. I'm sure you were very happy with that. Halloween wall hangings. Yes, I showed those Joydy earlier. I also, well, the two that I have here, they're going to go in for the kiddos. But I have more Halloween wall hangings that I hang around my house, but now I'm going to take them to the bank instead. I have been cutting fabric all weekend in preparation to sew 4 quilts this week. Wow. All right. Well, that's always good and exciting. One of them is a vet quilt. Oh, that's wonderful. I've been making my jewelry, but we'll get back to crafty pretty soon. I hope so. I got caught up on the Quilts of Valor. Then I got an email. I have 4 more on the way. Didn't get to sew the weekend, but I had plenty of bonding time with the long arm. Oh, wow. Oh, so people mail you their Quilts of Valor quilts and you quilt them? How is your office decorations going? Well, they're going good. The kids love them. You know, faculty, staff, administration, they've all been up to see my quilts. They love that I'm going to move them around every time. I should take a little picture, but I don't really like to take pictures when I'm at work at all, because I don't really think that's okay. So we're not even going to do that. But maybe when I take them down, I will show you what I had up. You know what? I'm gonna fill up a bobbin here. Here it is. Whoops. I tell you, I woke up this morning with my allergies killing me. It's it's a thing. I don't know, must have missed something. Howdy, Joyce and everyone. So we talked about apple picking. Anyone gone pumpkin picking? Oops. Anyone gone pumpkin picking yet? Oh. Okay, stop. My machine does not like this. Oh, I know why. There it is. I didn't put it up. Sorry. It was making noise. Now, are you going to watch me clean? You know what? You're going to watch me clean my machine because I use quite a bit of bobbins. And this weekend I haven't gone in there. So, you get to see me work a little. I mean, I generally clean this every 3 bobbins. Hi, Sharon. So right now I am working on cleaning my machine before I put another bobbin in. And I did a little show and tell of some things I long-armed this week. And we worked on a pattern that I started on Jelly Roll Day. And so now we're just putting all the blocks together. So we laid them out, and I think we think that we already figured out what we're going to go with. So this is a Q-tip, which is great, right? Those Q-tips are great. And I'll tell you what, I like a piece of batting. But these spongy things are so much better. I bought these online on Amazon, and see, they just kind of wipe it all up and keep it all clumped up, where I sometimes feel that the Q-tip just moves it around. See, it kind of like magnetizes on there. I don't know what they're called. Let me see. Here's the package. This is the package. It came like this. And it's just all various sizes of applicators. I do not have an Amazon affiliate, even though my honey yesterday said I needed to open one up. So you'll have to use someone else's if you're interested in purchasing these, but they're great. I don't even know what they're called though. So look, it's all done. But I will say I do clean this quite often. Wait, there's one. So sometimes those are too thick and you need to get in here with a Q-tip. But that's all I have. I know that there's all these brushes out there to clean your machine and everything. I've never used them, so I can't say they don't work. I just use what I have in my house, and these little doodads seem to be very helpful. And here we are. And I clean this machine different than I would clean any of my antique machines, because that's different. Oh, that's what I did. I worked on an antique machine. I worked on a Singer Rocketeer. When I got it last week, they didn't have a tension knob. The tension was all wonky. Excuse me. And I just watched some videos on it this week and worked on it. Took it apart. It was actually pretty clean, but yeah, I did that this week. I was happy about that. So I have it up here. I just don't have a table yet for it. Let's see. Oh, yes, let's talk about that. I forgot. Not that I forgot, because I have it on my things to do. Leanna, I know you're filling in for Lynn tonight at 7 Eastern. Do you know if any Thanksgiving fabric designs will be presented? Good question. It's a mystery to me too. I have a mystery bag that is, I guess, a free purchase. So I don't know yet. So I'm getting everything last minute, and I will let you know. Yes, Leanna, I got an awesome deal. I paid $43 shipping including for 3 102-piece charm pack. Oh, okay. Do you use pre-wound bobbins? I found pre-wound cotton bobbins once, and I used them and they were great, and I've not been able to find any more. Everything that's a pre-wound bobbin is polyester. So I found them once. Yes, I like them. But so now I sit here and I normally wind a whole bunch. I normally wind a box like here, right? When I do a project, I do about 4 or 5 or 6. And I had some here, but I'm trying to use up the last of this. I have very little on this Aurifil spool of thread, so I was wanting to just get it going. I strictly use pre-wounds anymore. Wait, I strictly use pre-wounds anymore. Their polyester and work amazing on my Juki and long arm. Yes, I hear that. I'm a little bit of a purist, I guess. I don't know if it's true or not. So please, again, I don't know if it's true or not. But when I was taught to quilt, they said polyester was fine to use, but that if you wanted your quilts to last for centuries, I guess, right? Centuries, as they say, or for a very long time, they say that you should use cotton. And the reasons they give, I don't know, I went to a lecture. The reason they gave was because when they find old quilts, the ones that they found from the 1800s or whatever, were actually in better shape than the ones from the 70s, the 1970s. And they say it's because the polyester craze of the 70s, everybody was sewing with polyester. And what was happening was that the polyester is so strong that over time of wash and age or whatever, it cuts into the cotton fabric. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. So they were just showing different examples. So I remember seeing that and thinking to myself, well, the 70s quilt, right? I don't know. I saw this probably in the 90s. That's 20 years later. And now here they're showing me quilts that are hundreds of years. And then they're showing me a quilt that's 20 years. And they're showing you that the quilts with the damage just was like where the stitch line, it just cut in after years. So they're kind of like stuck in my head. As obviously you saw me polyester, right? Long arm with polyester this weekend. So, if they're right, I guess in 20 years those quilts are going to fall apart. I don't know. So I try to stick with cotton for that reason. That's the only reason why, is because I went to a lecture about it. I mean, I have to tell you, some of my passive forward quilts, there were times that it just was becoming so expensive for me to make them and fund it all myself, that I have piece quilts using polyester, and it pieces just fine, and it's great. So I don't know about that. I guess I should do more research about it, because that would make my life a whole lot easier, Debbie. It really would, to have pre-wound bobbins, because I'll tell you, I found those cotton pre-wound bobbins, and I bought, I don't know what it was, a pack of, it was like 50 in a box. That was the greatest thing ever. Oh my goodness, that was the greatest thing ever. But when I tried to reorder, I couldn't find them. And I was, so I went back to the old-fashioned way. I mean, what are your thoughts on it? Okay, so you all heard my experience with thread, right? I guess that's a controversy. What's your thoughts on it? I mean, I think you can sew with whatever. Whatever makes you happy and as easy as for you, go ahead and sew on it. Again, this was something I saw in the 90s. I was living, I'll tell you where I was living. I was living in Virginia, in Williamsburg, Virginia. And it was a whole thing about quilt restoration and how to, like, quilting in modern times, and what you back then it was, you need to do this because of this, and this is the why you have to do it this way. And I don't agree with that. So I just say, I did see this, it kind of stuck with me, and that's why I still use cotton. So what's your thoughts on it? I'm going to come in and look at that. I'm going to put this up. for a second. I'm all for pre-wound bobbins. All right. I'm letting you guys give me your thoughts on it while I grab these two. Here we are. So you only like the cotton pre-wounds. I can only use the polyester on my machine. Right, every machine is different too. I do know that. I absolutely know that. I do the same thing. Always want a bobbin fast when needed. Whoops. Oh, my phone here. Good morning, Nikki. Happy Monday to you too. Hello, Lisa. Happy Monday to you too. If I make a quilt that lasted 50 years, I yeah, man, that's true. That is so true, right? Absolutely. Absolutely. When I think about it, actually, as this was coming out of my mouth talking to you, I was thinking to myself, well, Leanna, 20 years is not a bad amount of time for your quilt to be loved on. That's so true, Debbie. I mean, it's kind of moronic now that I think about it. I guess what they were thinking about in the 90s is if you're making a masterpiece quilt, right? You want it to last 100 years, but you really don't need it to last 100 years. That is a very good point. Good morning, Terry. Oh, good morning, Catherine. I enjoyed watching your Build a Quilt videos this weekend. I know, Lisa, that's so cool. I just cannot, I have to just, I gotta get a hold of everything I got here and start doing all that. Joyce, I was told years ago that cotton thread would shrink a little where polyester thread doesn't. That is correct. Right, and where you get a little bit of the like bubbly puckering look when you wash your quilts. I prefer the polyester because my machines are so much cleaner. So that is very true, Debbie, and I will chime in on that. But I haven't seen any difference in the quilt cotton versus poly. So long arming. Yes, long arming with that glow in the dark on the top and on the bottom. I did not have a linty quilt, like a linty mess. Debbie is right 100%. There was not hardly any linty mess. That was lovely because every bobbin change I have to clean. Or maybe I don't. Maybe I'm just over OCD about it or what. I sit there and clean it really well. So you are so right, Debbie, on that. I use cotton thread. I use cotton thread also. I am fortunate enough to have a machine that winds bobbins as I sew, so I always have a bobbin ready as I need. That way I do not have a bunch of bobbins pre-wound. I know what you have. I'm going to say I know what you have. You must have an antique machine, Andrea, because I remember growing up, my grandmother always had a bobbin up, and as she was sewing, bobbins were winding. And when I did costuming for the Woodstock Playhouse, their machine I was using was an old Singer as well, and you loaded it up, and as you sewed, your bobbin was going. I am trying to figure that out using my antique machines now that I'm collecting. I'm trying to figure that out myself because I remember that growing up, that's how you did a bobbin. So I'm glad you brought that up because I have actually been working on trying to see if I could, when I use my featherweight, can I wind the bobbin as I go, and my 301 and that kind of stuff. Well, my featherweight, I guess I can't, right? My featherweight doesn't have a spool at the bottom, but my Duchess, the 301, does have the spool holder at the bottom separate from the one that you use to sew with. So I'm thinking I could do that on my 301. Excuse me. I don't know what is going on. My allergies have just gone wild this morning. I thought last night it was so crazy getting my room, and I had to change the sheets and the bed, and I had to take apart my HEPA filtration. I have air filters in my room because I'm highly allergic to dust mites, like highly. And I thought maybe I was lacking on my dust mite allergy, you know, my upkeep, because I have to upkeep everything. My new Elnita that I won from Sewing Machine. Oh, is that what you won? Because I never did hear what you won because you didn't know yet. Okay. Plus has it, but all my old singers also do it. Yes. So that is a plus with having antique machines. I can't wait. I wanted to do a live out of in my other room and this weekend for Jelly Roll Day, but because my son stayed over, he was sleeping in the living room because now his room is no longer a room. You know, he stays over one night over the week. So I don't know, maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow I'll go in there and we'll do a live from there. I still have to go through that bin that I said that I had bought. I still have not done that. I have been so overwhelmed with life. Lurking class starts in 30 minutes. Well, I understand, Annette. I understand. I have to, you know, slowly get off of here too. But as you can see, slowly get off of here too so I can get ready for work. So really quick, what did you guys make this weekend? What was some yummy food? If anybody did that. I mean, you know what? Weekends are also meant for just eating ice cream and yogurt and cereal to not cook. I mean, what did I do well, I made those homemade waffles. I should make those waffles one day for you. They are flourless, you know, gluten-free, because my daughter's gluten-free. She wasn't home, but I found this recipe to make for her. And now I cannot have a normal waffle because these waffles are amazing. They're super crispy on the outside and so good on the inside. I can't eat a normal waffle anymore. It has to be this waffle. And it is made with, of course, if you have a nut allergy, this is not the waffle for you. But it's made with nut flour. So the first batch I made was a hazelnut and almond. The second one was just an almond. And so it's just almond flour, tapioca, eggs, vanilla. I don't know. I'm gonna make them one day. We're gonna make them one day. They're super delicious. And what else? Then I made. What the heck did I make? I don't even remember. I know what I made yesterday. I made a turkey breast and roasted that with acorn squash out of my garden. Oh, the acorn squash was so good. So we picked two and we put them with some honey and butter and salt and pepper. And we had that. And we had, there was a rice mix that someone gave me from Trader Joe's. That was super yummy. Couldn't tell you what the rice blend was, but it was real. Oh, jollof. It was jollof rice. It was a jollof rice blend. So I made that. That was super delicious. And then I made some black beans to go with it. So that's what we ate yesterday. I don't remember. Oh, I know what I did. Saturday. That's right. We were out. We were out. We met up with Anna. So we had a Sam's Club. I call it a dinner because it was way past lunch and way too early for dinner. So we had a dinner. That's what we call it at the house. And we had a Sam's Club lunch, which was a hot dog and a berry vanilla sundae because that's healthy. That's what we had. And it was good. All right, so here we go. A funny story about that. FedEx delivered the first one, and 2 weeks later, a second one. I called to see why, and they said they had a computer glitch. So, question, did you have to send the second one, or did they say just keep it? Joy, Indian chicken curry. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Yeah, we have some of that I should make this week. I was lazy and didn't cook, but I'm going to make beef stroganoff this week. Ooh, yummy. They said to send it back. They would send someone to pick it up. The next day they called and said they said to keep it. Yeah, because it's expensive to ship. It was probably going to cost them more money to ship it back. So no, I have one to sew on and one for my vintage grace frame. Oh, wonderful. Could it be the last longer because there was hand sewn? Oh, yes, Carol, good morning. You're talking about the polyester versus cotton fabric. Could it be that they lasted longer because they were hand sewn and maybe the machine sews tighter? Very good. I like that idea, Carol. There's so many reasons why quilts 100 years ago, right, would last longer than now. And I don't know, does anybody really know? I mean, that's a very good point. I agree. So I'm going to put this last couple, look, I've already put this quilt together. All I have to do now is just to jack rip the those 2 blocks I have, and then I'm just gonna sew up another block. And then I think I'll have enough, because I actually have, this is what I have. I have this 1 block here, and I have a couple of these. So I think I will sew up another one of these blocks, and then, because I just need 2 sections, and then put that up. But that is a good point. And then today, what I've decided to do is add, out of the turkey breast, it was a really tiny turkey breast. It was a 4, what was it? It was, I think, a 4-pound turkey breast. I'm gonna make a turkey salad and have it on, it's like chicken salad just made with turkey. And then have that on a salad. Because I'm gonna come home for lunch. I come home for lunch, and so I do normally make something for Honey and I if he's home. Sometimes he's not. This is my last one here. Lisa has a channel. If you all don't know who Lisa is, she has a channel called the Orchid Quilter GA. I hope you heard that. So go check out. She is building a quilt on her channel, so go check her out. Deb also has a channel. She's normally on here. She must be asleep, that Deb. She's always on here. She has a channel as well. And so does Mama J Enterprises. She has a channel. She launches all her quilt patterns on there. So go check out her quilt patterns. I have, unfortunately, no time to be doing any more. Well, I have a lot on my docket as far as testing patterns, but I tested one of Mama J's, and it's great. I think my next pattern that I do for her is going to be something she probably already has tested, but I'm happy to sew it on my channel for her. But yeah, that's where I'm at with that. So go check her out. She has got great patterns. And Katie from the Greenland Quilter, go check her out. She just finished one of Mama J's quilts, which is Andrea, just in case. They did not wash as often as we do. They beat it with a broom and spot clean. Washing machines are rough and abusive. Very true, Lisa. Very true. Didn't think about that one either. Very true. I like all these ideas. Like I said, I just took a course in the middle of Williamsburg, and that's why I sew with cotton thread. There is no other reason why I sew with cotton thread other than that I saw that. That was it. So I have these sewn, right? Oh, this is the back of the quilt, just so you can see. So when I work more on this, I will sew the rows together, and then I will take jack to these and sew a couple more blocks, and I think we'll be good. I think we'll be good. So I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Take care of yourself, because you are all important to all of us. Pass it forward, and if you like what you see, please like, subscribe, and share. And if you're on this now, Just know I dropped that video on Friday at 5:30. It was my 5:30 live on Friday, and there's a giveaway in there, or pass it forward. So go over there, watch that video, do what you need to do, and I'll be calling that on Friday morning. Also, I will be on Lynn's live tonight, live at 5. So 5 is Mountain Time, 7 is Eastern Time. I want to say 6 is Central. I hope I'm saying that right. I will be on her channel with a whole bunch of surprises. So see you there. See you later on. All right. Take care. Bye.